Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder, still kicking it with the Mega Metagross team after making a couple of small adjustments, bringing in Landers, T, and Rotom Wash, so we're just going to jump into it. So yesterday's episode was quite heartbreaking. I don't know if you've watched it yet, so I'm not going to spoil it, but definitely check it out. It was a really intense episode. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the changes I made to the team were pretty solid. I do like Lando T and Rotom Wash a lot, so hopefully, they come into play a bit more. As Nico from Italy, I believe I've actually played Nico before with a rating of 1711, is going to be our first opponent of the day. Actually, this is the person I lost to in Road to Ranked a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys watched that episode, but basically he led Talonflame and Charizard. Talonflame was able to set up Tailwind, and that really just kind of screwed me over from the start. So it's pretty cool to get a rematch with him because, I did change my team up a bit, and now it does include the Landers T, which can definitely help a lot in this matchup. However, I'm going to have to be careful of the Mamoswine, obviously, because Mamoswine threatens Landers T a very good amount. Honestly, one of the best counters to Landers T out there. I still think Landers here is a pretty solid lead for me, just because, it can get a lot of damage off. It threatens both of the fire types he has, though he's probably not going to lead with either, predicting me to lead with Lando T, so I'm not sure if I want to bring in my Landers right away. Let's see. I like the idea of Gengar, especially if I can burn an Icy Wind things. Gengar, and, Actually, Rotom Wash is really solid against my opponent's entire team. The only Pokemon he can really use to hit it, actually, yeah, Rotom Wash completely counters it other than Solar Beams from the Charizard, so I can definitely take advantage of that. So I'm gonna go Gengar, Rotom Wash. And I'm thinking, this is actually really tough. I want all my Pokemon, so I'm not exactly sure who to bring here. Metagross might not actually be the best call. Conkeldurr is pretty solid. I am leaning towards Conkeldurr and Landers, though if I do go with those two and my opponent brings in Cresselia, I'm in some trouble, though I can't really anticipate him bringing in Cresselia. I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I should go with Hydreigon, as I am running out of time now. Okay, I'm gonna go with the Hydreigon, actually. For the last one... Okay, I actually ended up going with Metagross, because Metagross can just get powerful attacks off. That Mamoswine I should be able to outspeed as, well, I actually don't know the Mamoswine's item. I think it might actually be Scarf, but we'll see here. That was a tough call to make, but he goes with Talonflame and Charizard again. So, once again, just scaring off my Landorus. Well done by him. It would have been really bad had I led with Lando, but yeah, I'm not really gonna complain. Let's see. He's probably just going to go for the Protect with Charizard and the Tailwind. There's not much I can do to really prevent what's coming my way, so... I'll just Sludge Bomb Charizard in the off chance he doesn't Protect and Thunderbolt Talonflame. He is going to Mega Evolve, so maybe that indicates he attacked. So perhaps I could have doubled into Charizard, but the thing is I didn't really want to walk into a Protect on a Charizard and the Tailwind from Talonflame. As Drought here obviously going to set up the Sun, reducing the power of Hydro Pump from Rotom Wash as well. And he does go for the Tailwind play with the Talonflame there. Let's see. So Gengar gets a Sludge Bomb off against the Charizard. Does over 50 and gets the Poison. Or just under 50 actually, but he's going to go just for a Heat Wave there with the Charizard, so not opting for a Solar Beam onto the Rotom, though at this rate I might actually faint from the Solar Beam. As I'm going to get a Thunderbolt against Talonflame, but oh, he burns my Rotom, so trading status conditions there. I'm not sure if T-Bolt can knock it out here just because I'm not fully invested, and it brings it down. Oh, it's Focus Sash actually. Wow. Not an item you see on Talonflame every day, given that it likes to take advantage of recoil attacks like Brave Bird and Flare Blitz, but pretty optimal turn for my opponent there. Let's see. I want to switch out Gengar, but the thing is, I don't want to walk into a Heat Wave, because my opponent might be tempted to say Brave Bird Rotom and Heat Wave, though I could survive that. So he kind of has to Solar Beam the yeah, I think I'm just going to let him KO Gengar here, and I'll Protect with Rotom. I can stall out Tailwind pretty easily here, so I'm not very worried about that. But once again, my opponent outled me with this Talonflame Charizard combination. I really thought the Landorus in my team would scare it away, but he decided to just go for it, so nicely done. It made sense given that he had Mamoswine in the back, so I could have let something like Gengar and Landorus T to scare away Mamoswine as well. But, you know, he went for it, and it was definitely the right call on his end, as he does go for the Solar Beam immediately. So, that is one turn of Tailwind I am able to get rid of, which is nice, but, you still got a long way to come back here. Now let's see. So Rotom is actually going to be able to eat its Citrus Berry after taking that damage from the burn. So let's see who my opponent's going to bring in here. I anticipated being I would think Mamoswine or Landorus comes in here. So I'm thinking Metagross is the right call here. It's gonna be Mamoswine, okay. Let's see, all he has to do really is Earthquake and Solar Beam. So I could just protect here with Metagross and switch out Rotom to Hydreigon. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this play. I want to figure out what item the Mamoswine has. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's choiced. Most Mamoswines in VGC tend to be choiced or Life Orbed. So I'm going to play it safe here, and if he does, for example, lock himself into choiced Earthquake, then he'll be done for. Though, my opponent could have just predicted this and went for a Heat Wave and an Ice-type attack. Which in retrospect might have been the better move to do, because the Rotom switch out was kind of obvious. Yeah, great play. He is going to just Icicle Spear that Hydreigon. Getting a crit there, actually. And given that it went before the Charizard, that does reveal it's Scarfed. So, once again, it's going to come down. If I can get a double protect, I can still win this, but that was a good play. I mean, that was such a predictable move on my end. I should have stayed in with Rotom Wash. Poor play on my end there. So, I'm going to bring in Rotom back, obviously, but things are not looking too hot right now. So Mamos's Scarf, I have to try to get a double here with Metagross, and I'm gonna Will-O-Wisp the Mamoswine since his last one is probably Lando, and he's probably gonna want to switch out the Mamoswine this turn. That was a bad turn for me last turn. That was such a predictable play. I do get the double protect though, so this is still possible. Mamoswine goes for the Icicle Spear into the Rotom. Okay, how much does that do? Hitting 3... Okay, 3 times. Goes for the Heat Wave. Shouldn't KO Rotom, though with the burn damage, we'll see. Okay, looks like I can hang on for one more turn. Do I get the Will-O-Wisp off? I do, okay. So that was a very fortunate double protect, still keeps me in this game still. But I have a feeling my opponent's last one's going to be a Landorus, and if that is the case, then I'm kind of done for. Let's see. As Tailwind peters out. So, I mean, I have to target down Charizard here with an attack. See, the main thing is I really want to get a substitute up, but I can't really. I think I might just have to Iron Head the Charizard here and Hydro Mamoswine, yeah. Now he does withdraw Charizard, so if it is Landorus T, I do get an Iron Head off against it, and it is Landorus. So this gets a bit more interesting, because I don't think I can 2-hit KO it. So, I mean, if he's smart, he would have targeted the Rotom slot with Icicle Spear here. Yeah, as he does. So what I could have also done was Iron-Headed the Mamoswine. Oh, actually, no, that was a very great play by him, because now what he can do is Sunlight Fades. He just switched out Mamoswine to Charizard and go for the EQ. I'm wondering if that's, like, choiced Landorus. So I'm banking off a flinch right now, basically. If I can flinch, I can actually still win this one, but... Alright, let's see if Iron Head can do it here. So he's going to probably withdraw Mamoswine and just go for an Earthquake. Wow, he's going to withdraw Landorus. Which is actually a good play. Though if I set up a substitute there, I actually could have won. I mean, the switch there, you know, makes sense to get another Intimidate off. But, So I'm going to knock out Charizard, but that was a fantastic switch for him there. Though now the thing is, if he wants the Earthquake, he's going to have the Earthquake himself. Well, obviously, Mamoswine's not doing anything right now, so that's not the main concern, but let's see. As it does continue to take burn damage. However, I am at -2 attack. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could have tried to set up a substitute there. I really wasn't anticipating the switch out, but he's been making better plays than me so far in this game. So, let's see. I mean, I can't take an Earthquake from that Landorus regardless. I'm going to sub here in the off chance he misplays and protects with Landorus, but he's not going to. So, I'm guessing he just went for the Earthquake. Though, if he went for the Superpower, as Icicle Spear obviously isn't going to knock out my sub here, you know, he's going to be decreasing his own attack and defense, which I can actually use to my advantage. So, let's see what he goes for. As, yeah, Icicle Spear isn't going to knock out. Nope, he is just going to EQ himself. So, slowly knocking out his own Mamoswine. Yeah, it's going to come down to whether I can get a flinch with Iron Head, basically, I think. And, yeah, I'll protect here. So, Mamoswine feints from the burn, so I don't have to worry about it. So, it is going to be a one-on-one, but my opponent has maneuvered this game quite nicely. Really just from the start, you know, leading with Charizard and Talonflame, even against my own Lando T, was a great play. Just because he had Lando T and Mamoswine in the back, which makes sense. You know, he could switch out to reduce Rock Slide damage and etc. So it is going to be an intense one-on-one here. I do need to get for a flinch or a crit here. So I'm just going to go for Iron Head. Let's see. I might need 2 though. I'm not even sure. Oh, I got 1! Okay. I believe they're the same damage. But I'm just double checking here. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's intense. Alright, gonna go for another one. I hate relying on RNG like this, but you know, that's obviously my only win. RNG is on my side today after, yesterday's episode as Lando goes for the protect. I feel bad. My opponent outplayed me for the majority of this game, so this is probably a game I shouldn't have won. You know, I had to go for the 2 flinches, which I actually managed to get. But yeah, like I said, I really feel like my opponent outplayed me for the entirety of the match. You know, he was one step ahead most of the plays. I wasn't really predicting well. And, like, the target into Rotom Wash with Icicle Spear was so obvious that turn. And I should have just stayed in and went for the Will-O-Wisp onto Mamoswine, because if I got in that, it almost would have ensured a victory. Instead, I was careless, switched out Hydreigon, lost it immediately. And I knew he was going to go for that play after I went for it. So that was one of the biggest turns in the game. And, you know, I am able to get very lucky in the end to end up winning the game. Pretty funny because yesterday's episode was also so RNG involved. But yeah, that's Pokemon for you. So, you know, sometimes you're on both ends of the RNG. I really wish I could have replayed that one since I felt like I was just not playing well from the start. But good game to my opponent there. But I have to apologize for the 2 flinches in the end there. But very actually familiar to yesterday's match where my opponent was able to flinch me twice with Iron Head with his Hydreigon. Of course, there was a bit more RNG involved there, but yeah. Brianna from Texas is going to be my second opponent of the day with the rating of 1816. She's got a team of, wow, this is an interesting team. Raichu, Salamence, Bisharp, Suicune, Clefable, and Machamp. So, Machamp and Raichu definitely sticking out from my opponent's team. Now, you do have to be careful when you're playing against Raichu because, of course, it gets access to Encore, which is something I often forget, so I'm going to want to play around that. Now, I think Gengar is a pretty safe lead because it can't get faked out. It can Icy Wind, Will-O-Wisp, Taunt. It's just really good against my opponent's entire team, so I'm definitely going to lead with that. Next to it, I actually really like Rotom Wash. Just because Rotom Wash is a pretty good counter to the majority of my opponent's team, bar the Bisharp. Because, you know, that's probably Mega Salamence, and if my best bet, it's going to be the physical variant, you know, the Dragon Dance set most common, which I ran previously, and a lot of good players have used. And Rotom Wash checks Mega Salamence pretty well. You know, even if it's the physical special variant with attacks like Draco Meteor, it can Rotom Wash is just kind of a boss in terms of walling attacks, so I'm not too worried about this. I'm thinking of re-eving my Rotom in the future to guarantee an outspeed Bisharps, just because, you know, you do need a fair amount of speed investment for it, but I do think it's worth it. So yeah, I do like those two as my leads. Let's see. Conkeldur's pretty solid to beat the Bisharp, but otherwise, and the Suicune, just because Suicune can't really touch Conkeldurr. I think I'm going to want Metagross here to try to beat the Machamp. Hydreigon's alright, but I am going to go with Conkeldurr here. Yeah, don't want to bring the Lando just because he's got the Bisharp, which can obviously take up a Defiant boost. That last match still. Yeah, I always get a bit frustrated when it's like, when it's one of those games where you feel like you should have played better throughout the majority, and it's like you feel like you misplayed, and then your opponent capitalizes right immediately. He's going to lead with the Shiny Raichu and the Suicune against my Gengar and Rotom Wash, which is not a bad lead matchup for sure. Because, you know, like, he can't fake out the Gengar. So he's probably just going to fake out Rotom this first turn, and presumably go with the Tailwind with the Suicune, though if my opponent's smart enough, you know, the Tailwind is somewhat predictable. So I am going to, let's see. I mean, the taunt is predictable from Gengar, so I kind of don't want to just taunt it. Yeah, I'm just going to Sludge Bomb Raichu and go for a Will-O-Wisp onto Suicune. Just because, oh wow, he's not even going to protect. He probably doubled into Gengar there then. So, that's fine. Sludge Bomb getting the poison as well, so he's going to go for the Thunder Wave onto Raichu. Definitely not the move I was expecting, but a good one at that. Let's see if Suicune goes for the Tailwind. As Will-O-Wisp does connect with Raichu. Of course, I don't want to be affected by the Lightning Rod there, and Burn is always great on Suicune just because it normally doesn't have a way to recover, as it actually goes for the Calm Mind, which is kind of scary to go up against. Not exactly the most common Suicune set, of course. The one I've been running is the more standard one with attacks like Scald, Ice Beam, Tailwind, Protect, and sometimes Snarl over Protect. But that's a good and scary move on my opponent's end here. I'm definitely a bit intimidated from that. Let's see. Now he can double up into Gengar for a KO with a Scald and a T-Ball. I kind of want to switch it to Conkeldurr, which I know can take those attacks. The main issue here is Raichu has another turn, so I can't just Thunderbolt because it's just going to go into Raichu, which is kind of annoying right now. Let's see. Who do my opponent have in the back that really threatens me? Yeah, I am actually going to switch out to Conk. I want to save Gengar just because it can taunt the Clefable, and I'm just going to protect here with Suicune in case she tries to get fancy and target down Rotom Wash with any attacks. Was not anticipating that first turn, but, you know, that's kind of the merit of using a team like that where you can catch your opponent off guard. You know, normally Raichu would go for the fake out there and Suicune would go for the Tailwind if my opponent had, you know, the most standard sets, but a good play by her there. She's going to go for the T-Bolt into Conk. As Suicune, yep, goes for the Scald, so she does double target Conk. Not much Rotom Wash could have done there, as, wow, was that a crit? Not even. That's amazing. Suicune reveals Leftovers, which is, oh, I should have seen that last turn, but it's important because it means it's not Chesto Rest, which is the set I was most scared of. So I ended up taking a lot of damage there with Conk and ended up wasting a Protect with Rotom Wash. So in retrospect, I should have just attacked there so I could potentially protect this following turn. You know, things aren't too bad, but the damage on Conk is never good, and Salamence comes in here. The Gengar being paralyzed in the back is also somewhat scary. As Salamence comes in here. Like I said, Rotom Wash is a pretty darn good check to Salamence, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's see. I'm going to go for the knockoff onto Suicune in the off chance that Salamence does not attack. And I'm going to Will-O-Wisp it, expecting it to be the physical variant. Though if it is the special one, I might be in some more trouble just because I can hit my team harder. However, the main point right now is Salamence and Suicune can't really touch this Rotom Wash. And if it is the physical variant and I get the burn off, then he's really not going to be able to do anything, especially with the Metagross in the back. However, he does protect with excuse me, I keep on saying he. She does protect with Salamence there, as Suicune goes for the Scald. But I'm going to be able to get rid of the Leftovers, which is important here. Into Rotom Wash, hopefully no burn, but she is going to be able to get the burn there. But the most important thing is I do get a free knockoff against Suicune, which is valuable because now, you know, it's just taking damage from burns every turn. So I'm not going to complain about that, as, yeah, the Suicune is slowly just going to faint from the burn damage. Let's see. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up into the Ments with an Ice Punch and a Will-O-Wisp. Because if that is Mega Ments, and if it, you know, it's probably going to go for something like a Double Edge onto Conkeldurr. Though, like I said, I still don't know whether it's a special or physical variant, but Suicune can't KO me with the Scald, so I either get an Ice Punch off or a Will-O-Wisp off. And it is going to be the physical variant, which is good to know, going for the Double Edge onto Conkeldurr, but that's fine because I get a free Will-O-Wisp against it. So the Scald Burn on Rotom is somewhat annoying, but I can't be complaining after how lucky I was with the RNG today. Hopefully Will-O-Wisp connects here, as it does, so that's fantastic. I am able to get a burn off against the physical Mega Ments here, as she goes for the Scald onto Rotom Wash. So, obviously Rotom Wash can take those like champs to burn, not fun to deal with, but I have both of my opponent's Pokemon burned as well, and that's obviously good news for me. So this gives me a pretty free switch into the Mega Metagross, which I have in the back, obviously. And it's not like my opponent can really touch, really what I have out right now, so I'm going to bring in Metagross. Let's see. I do want to try to get a substitute up here with Metagross if possible. Yeah, I'm going to sub with Metagross. She's probably going to want to Scald the Rotom. Or the Metagross, excuse me, but I'm going to Scald, and I kind of want to Will-O-Wisp the Salamence slot because right now I'm anticipating it switching out into Machamp, which I would guess is her last one. Though, I don't know, she's probably going to target Metagross with, yeah, I'll sub here, and I'm going to go for the, I kind of want to double protect her as well, but I don't know, I really want to nail the, Machamp switch in if she chooses to make it. So I'm going to sub, and you know what, I'm going to sub and Will-O-Wisp the Salamence. Oh, she's going to stay in with both, though. Nice play by her. So that was a bit aggressive, but it's fine because now the Suicune's going to be in Zen Headbutt KO range, which is probably the most important thing. As Suicune goes for a Protect, wow. So Salamence might have went for like a Dragon Dance or an Earthquake. It does go for the Dragon Dance. But still, it's not like a Salamence at +1 when Burn can do very much in the first place. So the most important thing is I get a free substitute up with Metagross. I was not anticipating that. You know, I didn't even bother targeting down the Suicune slot, so it was a good Protect. You know, I perhaps over-predicted a bit there, but I still got the better end of that turn, given that Metagross gets a free substitute up, which is really, really good. Let's see now. I'm gonna double protect here just to get the free burn damage off. There's no downside to it. It looks like she's not gonna bother switching out her Pokemon, so I'm really curious as to what the last one is. Because I thought the Machamp in the back might have been like Choice Scarfed, but let's see. So double protect here just to get the free burn damage on both of her Pokemon. She goes for the Dragon Claw onto Rotom. Not the most common attack on Mega Ments, just because you see Double Edge and Earthquake more commonly. So, you know, we've seen Protect, Dragon Dance, Double Edge, and Dragon Claw, so that's the entire moveset of the Mega Salamence. So that's good because it means it really can't touch my Metagross one bit. So I'm just going to Iron Head the Ments. Actually, I'm going to play it safer. I know she can't knock out my sub, so I'm going to Zen Headbutt the Suicune and just Thunderbolt the Salamence. She might protect here with Suicune. But nope, just going to see a Dragon Claw. I wonder if that can knock out Rotom. I would think you can. But no, Rotom is so bulky. Zen Headbutt is able to connect with Suicune, so I'm going to be able to pick a double knockout here most likely as the Suicune goes down. So, unexpected, just a couple of surprising sets on Brianna's team here, and I do like it a lot. But I feel like Rotom Wash was really the MVP here. Being able to burn everything was huge right from the start. And Suicune kind of annoying to deal with, but, like, you know, there are a couple Pokemon that really beat Suicune in this format, and Rotom Wash is one of the big ones. So, yeah, her not having many answers to Rotom Wash was kind of an issue. Of course, the game's still not over yet, but Salamence is due to faint in a turn after burn, as a Bisharp's going to be her last one, though, so that makes things a lot more interesting. Wow, I should have considered that. I mean, her obvious play here, she has to double into Gengar. So I'm just going to Iron Head and Will-O-Wisp. If she doesn't double into Gengar, then she loses. She is going to go for the Dragon Claw there onto Gengar, though. I'm gonna get an Iron Head off here. If I get a flinch, it's basically gonna be GG, but I anticipate... I mean, it still does a ton of damage there. As she goes for the knockoff onto Gengar. Yep. And there was nothing I could have done there to prevent what was coming, since my Gengar obviously doesn't have Protect, so now things get a bit more interesting. As it's going to be a 1v1. So both times it was Mega Metagross in the very end of the game. But wow, really intense games today, as both have really come down to the final turns. So Iron Head's going to be a 2-hit KO. I'm going to Protect here. I'm just going to... Actually, all I have to do is really alternate between Protects and Subs to stall out Sucker Punches. Though the real question here is, does she go for Sucker Punch or Knockoff? She's probably going to go for the Knockoff, but no, ended up going for the Sucker Punch. So that's 1 down. Of course, Sucker Punch's PP only at 8. Now this is an important turn because, I mean, I think I'm just gonna go for the Iron Head. Though I really want to set up a sub in the off chance she tries to Sucker Punch me again, but let me think this through. Okay. So if I Iron Head, she doesn't Sucker Punch and goes for the knockoff, then the following turn I can just Protect, Sub, Protect, Sub. I'm gonna go for the Iron Head this turn. I think she's gonna go for the Sucker Punch, as she does. So, could have tried to sub up there, but we'll see. All I have to make sure right now is I don't walk into a Sucker Punch, since Iron Head here is going to put her in KO range for 1 more. So I'm gonna go for the Protect here, obviously. I hate Bishop endgames. The thing is, because Bishop, of course, can knock off, which would KO Metagross, so I have to... It's not as easy as, you know, one poor play I could end up losing, because she can easily predict my Protects and say go for knockoff, as she does do there. Oh man, this gets interesting now. I'm still gonna sub here. All I have to do is catch her on 1 failed Sucker Punch and I end up winning this one, but oh, she's not gonna Sucker Punch. Nice play there. So I'm gonna sub with Metagross. Bishop goes for the knockoff. Okay. I think I really want to Iron Head here. The Protect is so obvious. And she doesn't obviously want to waste Sucker Punch PP. I'm going to go for the Iron Head. My heart is pounding right now. Since at this point it's a smarter decision for her just to go for knockoffs, and she's not going to Sucker Punch, Iron Head should be able to pick up the KO here. As it does, so wow, what a really intense game. Substitute really saving Mega Metagross there, so we are finally able to pick up 2 wins in today's episode after really splitting most of the previous episodes, like 1-1 or even 0-2 in yesterday's, but it was a really, really great game. RNG was definitely on my side today, but, you know, that's Pokemon for you. Like I always say, like, yesterday was so ridiculously against me, but today was for me, so that's awesome. But once again, you know, I feel kind of bad for that first game just because I felt like my opponent was 1 step ahead of me in the game, and Pokemon's one of those games where I always want, like, the player who played better to win. He definitely played better, but I had to rely on the RNG to try to squeak out a win there. It ended up working out, but man, 2 really intense games in today's episode, and Substitute Mega Metagross really put in, you know, the job. It did the job it was supposed to, and really fantastic games there. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. As always, leave a like if you did, and I shall see you tomorrow. Also, in addition, you know, I did say I have a bunch of series I'm planning on starting soon. I am going to make an announcement video very soon, so keep your eyes open for that, because that will be up and around soon, because I plan on expanding this channel with a lot more content other than Road to Ranked. You know, I've been slowly putting in videos here and there, but hoping to get some new stuff out very soon. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and like I said, I shall see you tomorrow. Peace.